Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Our theme is Meteorology of Nanjing. The Changjiang River basin is the birthplace of rich and profound culture with a long history, which is also one of the most circle sources of Chinese culture. In the center of the lower reaches of the Changjiang River, the splendorous culture embodied our history city Nanjing. We'll introduce it from four aspects: geography, hydrology, climate, and solar terms. I hope everyone here can better understand the meteorology of Nanjing and feel its unique charm through its class. Geographical features of Nanjing. Nanjing is located in the lower reaches of the Changjiang River, with the vast Jianghuai Plain to the north and the fertile Changjiang River Delta to the east. The greater location makes it a beautiful city with mountains and forests. There are not many cities like Nanjing in China, even in the world. The Changjiang River passes through the city with a long coastline nearby 200 kilometers. Purple Mountain has beautiful scenery. Mufu Mountain is majestic. The Qinhuai River and the Jinchuan River litter throughout Nanjing, and the area is full of lakes such as Xuanwu Lake and Mochou Lake. Nanjing is one of the four major garden cities in China, and also won the Habitat Scroll of Honor Award.
江南嘉利地，金陵帝王州。逶迤带绿水，迢递起朱楼。
This poem shows a magnificent picture of Nanjing depicted by Xie Tiao, a point of the Song dynasty. The first sentence means a rich and beautiful place in the source of the Changjiang River. Nanjing was once used as a main capital many times. The second sentence means you can see the fresh water winding across, mossy ground there and overlooking the peak. You may see gorgeous ancient buildings. You can imagine how wonderful it is in the beautiful city. Many polished poems written by famous poets such as Li Bai, Du Fu, Wang Anshi, Su Shi, and so on, shows us such a beautiful city with a long history and enchanting scenery. Due to its greater location and the monsoon climate, Nanjing is quite suitable for the growth of crops. Therefore, Nanjing has become one of the important agriculture and commodity growing bases in China. Among the agricultural products in Nanjing, the most distinctive is Yuhua tea. Nanjing Yuhua tea, green tea, can date back to the Tang dynasty. Yuhua tea is one of the top famous tea in China, well known for its green, fragrance and sweetness.
雨花茶制作技艺是我们江苏省级非物质文化遗产。在1959年全国名茶评比的时候，就列为我们全国名茶的第4位。雨花茶它是中国蒸型擂茶的典型代表，品质风格特征要求是紧细原直，形似松针，色泽润绿。依照严先生说过，南京是一座厚重之城，六朝闻名，而雨花茶是这座厚重之城最好的代表。
This is a famous legend about Yuhua tea.
During the Eastern Jin Dynasty, there was an old lady who paddled along the street with a pot of tea every morning, and people scrambled to buy her Yuhua tea to drink. Strangely enough, though the old lady sold the tea in a pot from early morning to evening, the pot still was full. At last, the old lady gave all the money from selling tea to the lonely and poor people. Thanks to the kindness of the old lady, people began to plant Yuhua tea around Yuhuatai district in Nanjing.
The planting area of Yuhua tea has expanded from the Yuhuatai district to Nanjing, which is also dotted with large green tea gardens. Hydrological characteristics of Nanjing. There's something about Nanjing geography. After all, we'll take a look at the hydrology. Nanjing has many rivers and lakes, such as the Changjiang River, Qinhuai River, Xuanwu Lake, Mochou Lake, and many other lakes in the suburbs, such as Jinniu Lake, Shiju Lake, and Gucheng Lake. These are the main water resources in Nanjing. The shores of the rivers and lakes are the birthplace of the early Nanjing civilization and a rich tourism resource for modern Nanjing. Now, let me introduce two major water landscapes, Qinhuai River and Xuanwu Lake. Qinhuai River is a major river in the Nanjing city area. There is also a famous legend about Qinhuai River.
During the 30 East of Qin Shi Huang, first emperor of Qin dynasty, the river was called as Longcangpu. The name Longcangpu indicated that there will be a song of the heaven. The ancient Chinese believed that, according to the geographical environment of the place, such as the direction of rivers and mountains, the location of objects, as well as the orbit and changes of the celestial bodies in the universe at different times, people could infer the future, including the fate of the country, a city, a family, or a person. It is said that Nongcangpu River did not flow through the urban area of Nanjing. To avoid an emperor here, Qin Shi Huang ordered people to dig off the dam near Fangshan Mountain, the confluence of rivers. So, the major river was diverted to the north and passed through the city of Nanjing in an attempt to destroy the prediction. The name was also changed to Qinhuai River as a symbol of being conquered by Qin Shi Huang. This is the origin of the name of Qinhuai River. But his attempt failed, for the first emperor in Nanjing, Sun Quan, after 500 years, and several more emperors followed.
Qinhuai River, most of which is located in Nanjing City, is the largest regional river in Nanjing City area. The river with greater functions of transportation and irrigation gave birth to ancient civilization of Nanjing. Honored as the Mother River of Nanjing, it is praised as the best historical and cultural river in China, and about Xiang Lake. We can first enjoy her scenery in different seasons. Nanjing has always been a place of strategic importance since ancient times. Sun Quan moved the capital to Nanjing in the Three Kingdoms period. Sun Quan was keenly aware that reasons of the victory lay in a powerful navy. Sun Quan took Nanjing as an important base for the navy and Xiang Lake as a training base for the navy. The surface area of Xiang Lake was 4 times as large as it is now, and it flowed directly into the Changjiang River. There are 5 oases in the lake, with bridges and embankments connecting the 5 oases, each with its own characteristics, with a collection of historical and cultural mountains, and with the beautiful of the landscape and gardens complementing each other. abundant water resources also bring a lot of trouble for the people of Nanjing. The rainfall features a short time and large quantities, as well as abundant rivers and lakes, making the flood common in Nanjing. Nanjing University Information Science and Technology plays an important role in the prevention and control of meteorological disaster, and the university's disciplines feature is atmospheric science. Having learned more about the lakes and rivers in Nanjing, do you have a deeper feeling of Nanjing location with mountains and water? Climate characteristics of Nanjing. Next, about climate of Nanjing. The spring and autumn last short, while winter and summer last long in Nanjing. The large temperature difference between winter and summer. Endowed, each season with its own characteristics, so it is a good place to travel. Therefore, as an older Chinese saying goes, 春有牛首烟岚，夏赏钟复晴云，秋登栖霞胜境，冬观石城积雪。Previously, it was extremely hot in summer. However, due to the changes in atmospheric circulation and the continuous efforts in afforestation, and summer temperature is much lower than other cities in southern China. When it comes to the meteorology, it is worth mentioning Zhu Kezhen, a famous Chinese meteorologist and founder of historical climatology, as the founder of modern meteorological science in China. Mr. Zhu had devoted himself to research climate change. Under the great effort of Mr. Zhu, the first institution of higher education to train meteorological talents was founded in New China, Nanjing Institute of Meteorology, which is now called Nanjing University Information Science and Technology.
We are outward and forward-looking, working with international partners to tackle global problems and challenges.
博极东西，中西学术在这里荟萃。
And also globally, there have been students from 100.
兼收并蓄，百家思想在这里争鸣。沟通，架起通往真理的桥梁。
空气流动的时候，会有一个天上的一个力，就相当于地球
思辨，带来对话世界的力量。
Liu Xi from Kazakhstan, after more than 2 years of study and life in Nanjing University Information Science and Technology, she had a deeper understanding and passion for Chinese culture. She said, I can see Nanjing University Information Science and Technology in my another hometown. I'm very glad to thank the school for giving me the opportunity to make a lot of the friends from different countries, which has made me more confident. I also have experienced colorful school life and enjoyed profound Chinese culture, which taught me how to do. A foreign student from the Bahamas said, "I like the climate here. Each season has its own characteristics. It is very hot in my hometown every day. When I came to Nanjing, I enjoyed the coolness of autumn, as well as snowflakes I had never seen before."
Hello everybody, my name is Brandon Justin Bethel, and if you cannot tell from my accent, I was born, was bred, and most likely gedared in the Bahamas. I am now a third-year PhD student. I think by the time I see you, I'll be Dr. Bethel. My career is in physical oceanography. This is where I study the physical properties of the ocean itself, and my biggest concern would be ocean surface waves and how, let's say, hurricanes may affect those waves. So I think one of the first and the most important aspects of the climate and the weather here is that there are four very well-defined seasons. Of course, you have your spring, your summer, your winter, and your autumn. That's something that we don't experience at home. We experience just summer, autumn, and the occasional hurricane. But here, if you can tell from my clothes, it's now transitioning away from the fall into the winter, and it's now very, very cold to the point where I have even my gloves. And so I think for those who are willing to leave the comfort of the Bahamas for Nanjing, you want to come keeping in mind that the winter clothes are a must. Many of you may have not experienced snow before, and here in Nanjing we do get some heavy snowfall, but it's not that bad. I've survived 11 years, and I can do another 11. After the winter ends, you then have a nice warming up period at the start of spring, but it gets really nice for about 2 weeks, somewhere in March, April, around that time, and then it gets very windy, and then you have the rainy season where we don't have severe floods, but the rain is truly heavy. And then we have a summer. Now, the summer we can describe with a Chinese word, menruo. This is that hot, dry heat. And it's hot and dry to the point where you can wash your clothes, put them out on the line to dry, and you can pick the same clothes up within half an hour, if all of that. So that is what the weather is like in a nutshell throughout the entire year. But the city of Nanjing is unique in that we can have all of these seasons within the same day. So when you wake up, it'll be the winter. Then later on in the morning, you'll have your spring. In the afternoon, it'll be summer. And then you'll have a transition to fall. All of that within a single day. So the weather here, it's, how do we say? It's predictable and unpredictable. You wake up one morning, you may wake up, you may want to wear, a pair of shorts, a short sleeve shirt, and call it a night. But later on in the afternoon, later on in the evening, you're back to wearing this. So that's the weather here is a mess, but it is very enjoyable, and I would appreciate it if I could have somebody else to be here with me to enjoy not just when the winter snow has come or when the spring rains drown us out, but when the summertime fun comes as well.
Solar terms of Nanjing. Last, please allow me to introduce the solar terms. Have you heard about it? The solar terms are 24 period and climate. a supplementary calendar to govern agricultural arrangements in ancient time, and it is the essence of the intelligence and joint efforts of Chinese working people. These solar terms each suggest different positions of the sun, also in dictating the changes of seasons. At the same time, solar terms have deeply influenced Chinese food and regimen, as well as Nanjing people.
Why does China have 24 seasons? While the rest of the world rotates among 4 seasons, Chinese are going through 24 periods every year. They divide each season into 6 periods, which means a year is specified more clearly in terms of weather changes. For instance, the onset of winter is differentiated from the midwinter, as each period has distinctive temperatures and snowfall intensity. Why do Chinese have so many seasons? Around 2,500 years ago, Chinese people determined 24 sections in the ecliptic, Earth's revolution orbit. Each section is called a solar term and represents a unique period of a year. The 24 solar terms were originally worked out mainly for farming. People began to sow in February's Jingzhe, or the waking of insects, and transplant rice seedlings in May's Mangjong, or grain in ear. Some solar terms have become Chinese festivals. Qingming, or Tomb Sweeping Day, in April is a national holiday for mourning deceased family members. In December's Dongzhi, or midwinter, most northern Chinese eat jiaozi, or dumplings. In the early December this year, the 24 solar terms were inscribed onto the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
The poem Qingming by Du Mu, a poet of the Tang Dynasty.
Qingming 时节雨纷纷，路上行人欲断魂。借问酒家何处有？牧童遥指杏花村，杏花村。
This poem is about the Tomb Sweeping Festival, one of the 24 solar terms, which followed around the 5th day of the 4th month of the lunar calendar, a time when it often rains lightly. In ancient time, Tomb Sweeping Festival is an important festival with sentiments, which is supposed to be a family reunion, spring outing, or tomb sweeping. There is an old story.
介子推, in the spring and autumn period, helped Chong'er, Jing Prince, flee and also saved the starving lord's life by serving meat cut from his own leg. The lord, known as Jing Wengong, was later able to take power and decided to reward Jie, but he declined. Jing Wengong tried to force Jie out of the forest by fire, but instead burned him to death, and felt deep regret. That day was a cold food festival to mark Jie's death. Later, due to the proximity of the Qingming and cold food festival, some of the customs of the cold food festival were incorporated into the tomb sweeping festival.
Chinese is a very exquisite in food and eat different food in different solar terms. so it has a huge effect on food. People will eat qing tuan in the tomb sweeping festival in the south of China, including Nanjing. You may ask, what is qing tuan sweet green glutinous rice ball, a popular spring snack? It's stuffed with a red bean of lotus seed paste, giving the snack a savory taste. There's a story about Qing Tuan.
Li Xiucheng, general of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, was hunted by troops. A nearby farmer assisted him and think about what food he could bring to Li Xiucheng. Suddenly, he stepped on a bunch of mugwort and slipped. When he got up, he found a faint green tinged his hands and knees. So he picked some leaves of mugwort, smashed and turned into a juice that he used to soak the rice dough, thus being a delicious snack. Later, Li Xiucheng ordered the army to learn to cook it. Eating qing tuan has become a popular custom since then.
Solar terms each give different guidance for agriculture, which not only originated from the long-term farming experience, but served as a clock in agriculture. The White Dew Festival, it is the end of the summer heat, and the weather gradually turns cooler. The sun is still hot during the day, but the temperature drops quickly after the sun returns to the mountains and the moisture of the soil and the water condenses into dew. Hence the name White Dew. In the old days, people in Nanjing attached great importance to the coming and going of the festival and gradually formed a festival custom with Nanjing's local characteristics.
Over 2,000 years ago, ancient Chinese scholars observed the changing patterns in our natural world, the climate, the turning of the seasons, and astronomy. The scholars measured and divided the sun's annual movements into 24 equal parts, creating the 24 solar terms, which were used to govern agriculture in ancient China. Even to this day, this invention still guides the lives and traditions of hundreds of millions of Chinese people. Around the 8th of September each year, the Chinese people welcome the 15th solar term, White Dew. Temperatures begin to cool and migratory birds set off on their southward journeys. It's time for savoring the autumn scenery, and for those far from their families, reminiscing memories of home.
When it comes to what dew, people in Nanjing who love tea are very fond of white dew tea, which is a good time for tea trees to grow after the summer heat. Around white dew, white dew tea is neither as fresh as spring tea, nor as dry and bitter as summer tea, but has a unique sweet and clear flavor, especially loved by old tea drinkers. In addition, the spring tea stored at home has been almost drank. When the white dew tea is pink up, so around the time of white dew, people who like to drink tea will buy some white dew tea. Slight cold. Festival is the season of lowest temperature, when the average temperature in the sense of the Changjiang River is usually around 5 degrees Celsius. This marks the beginning of the coldest days of the year and reminds people to do their best to prevent cold and frost and other farming activities. In ancient times, people in Nanjing attached great importance to the festival, but with the change of time, it has gradually faded away. But you can still find some traces of it in life. In the old days, people in Nanjing usually cooked rice with vegetables, the contents of which were not the same, but were usually slices of the salt pork, sausage of the diced duck, chopped with some ginger and glutinous rice, which was very fragrant and delicious. The duck and the butcher were both famous products of Nanjing and can be considered as a real Nanjing vegetable rice. Due to the cold weather, people in Nanjing have a set of the regional sporting activities during the cold season, such as jumping rope, playing shuttlecock, rolling iron rings, and fighting with each other. 1 foot up, 1 foot independent, fighting with each other. If it snows, people are even more excited to play snowball fighting and build a snowman. This is the whole content of this lesson. I believe you also have a certain understanding of the meteorology of Nanjing. Welcome to Nanjing to enjoy the history and culture of the city. Thank you.